Hey guys, this is my review for Orcs Must Die. So this is basically a tower defense game, and you just defend against waves of orcs, and you have to try and stop them from entering your rift, or node, or whatever they call it. And pretty much, there's not like a whole lot of kinds of orcs. There's basically ogres, and you get frost ogres, fire ogres, and standard ogres. And then there's little orc people, and then there's orc people with shields who are slightly harder to kill. And there's werewolves who will either target you or your ancients, depending on which one you have. If you don't have ancients, they'll just target you. And then you got flying units, which are pretty easy to kill, and usually you have to use archers to get them. I think you can use automatic ballista or summon traps if they fly low enough to the ground, but usually they won't. Yeah, and then you've also got things built into the maps, like pots of oil or like fire stuff, which basically you can use to burn people. It does do quite a lot of damage. It probably can't kill like an ogre in one hit, unless you're playing on like easy difficulty, in which case it might be able to, I'm not sure. But basically, you're just defending against waves of them, and then you've got heaps of traps. There's a DLC which I used in my walkthroughs for both, for like all my videos, which basically gives you I think it's like a Telstra coil thing which you can put on the roof, and it also gives you a mana trap, which you can use to replenish your mana, so you can use more spells, and it also gives you the alchemist pack, which I loved in like the first couple stages. It was so cool. I didn't actually realize that it was the DLC until like I was looking on my Steam account, and I noticed that I had DLC for this game because I don't even remember buying any for it. But I thought it was pretty cool. And basically, you can use your character to attack. I think in some stages, pretty much he can stop the entire wave just by himself. You don't even really need traps. But I mean, it's still useful to use traps though. And you can also summon paladins and archers. Paladins have heaps of HP, and you can upgrade them to stun using weavers. Or you can get archers, which you can upgrade to use fire arrows, which set people on fire and like sort of slow them down more. But I don't know. I kind of liked the bow. I don't think I ever used the sword, because I mean, if you get too close to people, they attack you, and then if you die, you lose rift points, which means you won't get 5 skulls. So there's 3 difficulties in this game. If you play the normal difficulty, it'll give you skulls for the easiest difficulty, but you can't play hardest difficulty until you've done normal difficulty, which I thought was kind of lame. But I guess it's just so that you have upgraded powers, because probably if you were playing with standard traps in the advanced missions, it probably would be quite difficult, because they do make it a lot harder in the, I think it's called like War Mage or something, which is the hard difficulty. But it's still fun to do, and you get an extra 5 skulls if you play War Mage difficulty, because you can get 5 skulls on each stage, whereas if you play on easy, you can only get two skulls a stage. So basically, skulls, they have like this weird system. I couldn't really work it out, but if I had to guess, I'd probably say that to get 5 skulls, you have to get a certain amount of points within a certain amount of time, and without losing any rift points or dying, because obviously if you die, you lose rift points. I mean, I couldn't really work out how to find the timer to like see what the time was that you had to beat on the stages, but I mean, most of them weren't hard. You could pretty much beat them without even really trying. It's mostly near the end where it got slightly more difficult. But even then, it wasn't that hard until you get to like you play the hard difficulty campaign, which was a lot more difficult than just playing normal, which I thought was kind of lame, because I reckon you shouldn't have to work towards playing on a difficulty that actually makes the game fun for you. I reckon they should have just had you're able to play it straight away. Because I mean, if you want to play on hard, then you should let people play on hard. They shouldn't have to waste their time playing easy. Even though there's only 24 stages in this game, and they take like maybe 10-ish minutes each. I don't think there was a really long stage. I think there was one which was maybe like 18 minutes or 23 minutes, somewhere around there. But that's not really that long when you're playing this game, because pretty much once you get a good trap layout, like maybe about halfway through all the waves, you can pretty much just let the traps kill them all. But if you want to get a kill streak, which will give you more points, then usually it's helpful if you help kill them. But, I mean, you don't have to. You can use just traps if you really wanted to. I personally like the arrow walls, tar traps, and clockwork maces. And I didn't really use the lightning ring and ice ring till near the endish of the game, but I thought they were pretty good as well. I think you don't need DLC to use them, so you should be fine if you like them. They also have chandeliers, which I found were mostly only useful for killing flying units. I tried to like kill ground units with them, and usually it just ends up missing, or it hits the ground and doesn't even do enough damage to kill them. And usually for ground units they have rolling logs on the maps, or pots of oils and stuff which you can use. I think this game doesn't have, it's not like a really long game. I think there's maybe 4 or 5 hours of gameplay on the normal, but since they've made it that you have to do normal to complete hard, it does end up taking a while if you want to get all the skulls. Even though there's not really any sort of special achievement if you can like upgrade all your traps. That's what you use skulls for. And the upgrades are pretty good though. I especially like the clockwork mace upgrade, and because basically it just makes it continuously swing, whereas before it would like stop and stuff. But yeah, but I like that upgrade, and I would have liked it if you could have upgraded your spells, but they don't do that in this one. Otherwise, I think the archer wall upgrade was good because it increases the range, and in other ones the upgrade will decrease the cost of the trap and stuff like that. But I think usually if you hold on to your skulls, because you don't actually really need any upgraded traps until about halfway through the game. So if you just hold on, and then once you worked out which traps you really like using, because pretty much you can use any trap throughout the entire game to complete it, and then just upgrade those traps and you should be sweet for most of the game. There are still weavers in this game, which basically give upgrades to either your character or your traps or your ancients. I mostly use the Steel Weaver's power because then you can get bonus points. They call it points, but I think it's like money or something, the money that you actually get, which is kind of point system as well, because you do get points from stuff like that. But yeah, I think this game was actually really fun. I quite enjoyed it. It's not a super challenging game, but it's just like a casual tower defense that you do have fun playing. If I was to say that they should add stuff to it, I would probably want more like spells, I guess, and being able to upgrade them. Perhaps more variety in the orcs that they send at you, and they could probably do like a boss sort of thing where they send like a boss unit at you on the final wave or something, just to add like a little bit of difficulty, because usually once you get about halfway through the game you've already built enough traps that the last like waves aren't even worth really defending against, because it's just so easy, which I think kind of sucks, because pretty much you just try and not lose anything in the first couple waves and then just sweep for the rest of the game. But yeah, that's probably the only thing I'd add. Otherwise, I thought this game was really good. So if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10, because I did really enjoy it. But, I mean, it was quite short and didn't really offer heaps and heaps of things to do. It probably could have had more, but I guess it's only meant to be like a casual tower defense game, which is probably why I didn't. But, I mean, it was really fun. I've played Orcs Must Die 2, and that's pretty fun as well. I think I actually preferred Orcs Must Die 2. They did add a wee bit more stuff to it, which I liked. But there is DLC for this game if you guys want to play that. I think I've made a separate walkthrough series and review for the DLC missions, because there's a DLC called Lost Adventures, which is a few more missions that you can complete after the base game. I don't actually know if you can do it before, but I did it after because I didn't even realize I had the DLC, because there's no real button that like lets you know that you can play other DLC.
This won't hurt a bit.
You just have to, like, I randomly clicked it and then I realized that there wasn't another campaign that you could play. But yes, I made a separate walkthrough series for that one. But yeah, but this is just my opinion of the game. If you don't agree with it or you do, just drop what you thought of the game in the comments below this video. Otherwise, I'm only going to give it an 8 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.